Hi everyone, this is Light Blue and Lavender, and today I'll be working on some harder Math SAT questions. All of these questions come from a Reddit post by Donald Keyman, given in the description and also being shown currently. I'll be going over 7 of these questions, and there's going to be an 8th question that I'll be going over in a separate video, which will be explained a little more at the end. Question 15. What is the set of all solutions to the equation square root of x plus 2 is equal to negative x? We know we want to square both sides. We have x is equal to x plus 2, or x squared. Then we subtract the x and 2 over, and now we can solve for the x. We have x minus 2, x plus 1. We know this because negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, which is the c value that we want, and then negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, which is the value in front of the x. So x is equal to 2, negative 1. However, if we plug the 2 back in, we have 2 plus 2 is equal to negative 2. We have square root of 4 is equal to negative 2. And in this case, 2 does not equal negative 2. And so the real answer is only 1. So our answer is B. Question 19. How many liters of 25% saline solution must be added to 3 liters of 10% saline solution to obtain a 15% saline solution? So this is a systems of equation problem. So let's just analyze it for a second. We want to add a saline solution of 25% to an already existing 3 liters of 10%, and we want to know how much we need to get 15%. So we'll have two equations. One is for the percentages, and one is going to be for how many liters we have. Let's let x be how much we're adding, and y be how much we end up with in liters. So here we go. We have our first equation, which will be x plus 3 is equal to y, because we're adding x liters and we already have 3 and we want y. And then we're going to have 0.25, because it's the saline solution for the x, plus 0.3 times 10, just 3 times 10, not 0.3. 3 times 10, so 3 liters times 0.10 is equal to 0.15 times y, since y is the final amount of liters we want. Now we can solve for this. We have y is equal to x plus 3. We'll do substitution. It'll be easier. So we have 0.25x plus 0.3, if we do this multiplication, is equal to 0.15x plus 3. We distribute the 0.15. We get 0.15x plus 0.45. 15 times 3 is 45. We carry the decimal over, we get 0.45. And now let's get x on one side. So we subtract 0.15 over 0.15x into 0.10x, and we subtract the 0.3 over, is equal to 0.15. Now we multiply on both sides and we get, well, we divide on both sides and we get equivalent to multiplying this by 10. X is equal to 1.5. So our final answer is 1.5. We need to add 1.5 liters of the 25% saline solution in order to get a 15% saline solution. Question 20. In the circle above, point 8 is the center, and we have an arc BC, which is 2/5 of the circumference of the circle. What is the value of x? Well, we know that BC is 2/5, which is like 40%. We know that circles are 360 degrees, so the angle must be 40% of 360. Well, 40% is the same thing as 0.4. So multiplying this together, we have 360 degrees times 0.4, which is 36 times 4, because 10% of 360 is 36. 36 times 4 is 144. So it's 144 degrees. A circle in the xy plane has equation x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 25. Which of the following points do not lie in the interior of a circle? So to find this, we can plug in each of these. And we want it to be less than or equal to 25. If it's outside, it'll be greater than or equal to 25 when we plug it in. So for A, we plug in negative 7. So negative 7 plus 3, I'll just do it quickly. It'll be negative 4 squared plus 3 minus 1 is 2 squared, which that is equal to 16 plus 4, which is 20, less than or equal to 25. Yep, A is inside. B, negative 3 times 3 is 0, plus 0. Is that greater than 25? Yes, it is less than or equal to 25. C. 0 plus 3 squared is 9, plus negative 1 squared is 1. Of course, this is going to be less than or equal to 0, or 25. And then D, we have 6 squared plus 1 squared is not less than or equal to 25. It's 37, actually. So our answer is D. Let x and y be numbers such that negative y less than x less than y. Which of the following must be true? The absolute value of x must be less than y, x must be greater than 0, y must be greater than 0. Let's start with 3. Suppose y is less than 0. So let's say y is equal to negative 5. Then we would have 5 is less than some x less than negative 5. But this doesn't make any sense. 5 can't be less than negative 5. So 3 must be true. Y must always be greater than 0. What about x is greater than 0? Can we have a negative x? Well, let negative 1 be x, and let y be 2. So we'd have negative 2 is less than 1 less than 2. It seems like x can be negative. It holds here, therefore we don't need 2. What about 1? Does the absolute value of x need to be less than y? Well, let's see an absolute value of x that is greater than y. So let's say y is 2. And let's say x is negative 5. Well, negative 5 is less than 2. Its absolute value is 5 and it's greater than 2. But it seems that it doesn't match with the negative. Negative 2 is not less than negative 5. So it seems that we do need the absolute value of x to be less than y. Otherwise, the negative x could be less than the negative y. So we need both 1 and 3, and our answer will be C. A group of friends decide to divide $800 of a cost of a trip amongst themselves. 2 of the friends decides not to go on the trip, so the 800 must be still divided equally, but each friend's share of the cost increased by 20. How many friends were in the original group? Well, let x be the original amount of friends, and then y be the cost per person. For the original, each person paid y, so it'd be x times y. And for the new cost, we have x minus 2, as there are 2 less people, times y plus 20, as each person is paying 20 more. And now this is just the systems of equation. We have x minus 2 times y plus 20. So we have xy minus 2y plus 20x minus 40. Let's replace these 800 with x times y is equal to x times y. These two x times y cancel out, as we can just subtract it over. So we have 0 is equal to negative 2y plus 20x minus 40. Let's put the y on one side. And we have 2y is equal to 20x minus 40. Divide by 2, we have y is equal to 10x minus 20. We can plug this back into the top equation, where 800 is equal to x times y, and that'll be x times 10x minus 20. This becomes 800 is equal to 10x squared minus 20x, or 10x squared minus 20x minus 800 is equal to 0. Simplify by dividing by 10. And now this is just a quadratic to solve. There's a lot of factors of 80 that we can look at, but we know that it's going to be a negative number times a positive number, because we have a negative 2 here and a negative c. We know it's going to have a difference of 2 between those two factors. And the only two that have that are 10 and 8. Since we can have 10 as the bigger, we'll have x minus 10 and x plus 8. It matches. Negative 10 plus 8 will be negative 2, and negative 10 times 8 will be negative 80. So x is equal to 10 comma negative 8. However, we don't have negative 8 people, so the answer must be 10. And 10 is our final answer. There are 10 original people. We can go back quickly to this and see that the 10 is true by having 10 original people, and each of them will pay 80, and that does equal 800. And if 2 of them leave, we have 8 people left, and each of them would have to pay 100, and that still equals 800, and that is an increase of 20, so we know this is true. Question 36. Point P is the center of the circle in the figure above. What is the value of x? Here, we immediately see that we're given 2 angles. both of which are 20 degrees. Let's remember that a triangle has 180 degrees when you sum its angles, and that a quadrilateral has 360 degrees when you sum its angles. We can divide this quadrilateral into two triangles, and we see that PB and PC are radii, so PA will also be a radius line. So we know that this angle here is also 20 degrees, and that this angle here is also 20 degrees. So we can find this angle at the center for both of these triangles. 180 minus 20, which is how we get this angle here in the middle, is equal to 140. Now, if we want to get the full angle of P on this side, we would have to multiply 140 by 2, which is 280, but we're looking for x. We know that that side of P that we just solved for is 280, and we're looking for x. So we do 360 minus 280, and that results in 80. So x is equal to 80 degrees. Finally, we have the final problem for the video involving exponents and a linear equation. I would love to solve this problem now, but it uses some exponent rules and tricks that could be unknown to some viewers. So instead, I'll be going over simpler versions of this problem and the rules and tricks that you need to know in a separate video. So stay tuned for that one. But for now, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.